Mic test. Hey, there you go. Sorry, I was just talking and I realized nobody was there. I mean, no, my microphone was in. So I was just saying that we're gonna be working on a commission page today. This is for another manga that I'm creating with a client. This is Namara. The title is Namara, and this is the character Rami. So yeah, I'm working on multiple mangas. Actually, I'm pausing on this particular manga for a while. I'm just gonna create their cover pages for the next 2 weeks or so, and um, I'm bringing in two new clients with two new mangas that I'm making. Besides my own, of course. I'm never gonna abandon that, you know. But yeah, it's been great. I thought I would have trouble looking for clients, but because I haven't really been looking for a very long time. I've just been working with my regular clients for the past 4 years, 3 years now, and yeah, they needed a break, which is okay. And so I thought, okay, it's time for me to look for new projects out there, branch out a little bit, and yeah, it was great. It was a great experience. I all the tricks that I still use still worked, so it's fine. And it's also an opportunity for me to finish up pages for my own manga, right? Because I have less work now. Oh, I gotta tell everybody that I'm live on my stream. Hold on. Oops. So let's just get on with it. Enough yapping. I got work to do, hey? So also, by the way, I might have a lot more trouble looking at chat because I'm kind of recording this for a video that I'm making, as well as some speed paints. So I'm using both of my monitors, and my third monitor is kind of broken right now. It's not working. So I have to keep alt tabbing to see chat, okay? I could probably use my phone, but my son is using it at the moment. My wife is also kind of busy, so we kind of just distract my kid when we're both working with my phone. So that's off commission right now. So again, I'm gonna have trouble looking at chat but I'll do my best to, every now and then take a look what's happening. Okay. Um. So yeah, let's just get on with it. We got work to do. Here it is. So to tell you about this story, this is an isekai manga. This is client work, and the story is about this girl who wakes up one day on another world, and she doesn't quite know why, but apparently everybody in the land is anticipating her arrival. She's not really a savior kind of um character. She has some unique powers, but this is not a action Mishoko Tensei type of story. This is more like a shojo, really, an isekai shojo story where it's more like a focused on the love aspect, the romance aspect to it. Yeah, so it's not really that kind of anime. I really like the story, by the way, because the client is a really good writer, and I'm not just saying that because she's my client. Genuinely feel like she took her time to flesh out the characters before we go into exciting parts of the story. And I love this kind of story, where you take your time. With my story with Final Fortress, I kind of struggle with that because I keep getting the feeling of losing the audience if I don't have something happen every now and then. And that could be true. But sometimes I believe you just gotta trust your audience, that they're smart enough to figure it out. And so that's one of the insecurities I can't let go of at the moment. Well, I'm trying to, it's not like I can't do it. is when I'm writing. I think my writing at the moment is 2 tenths, but it's trying to be. You know what I mean? It's trying to be relaxed, but it's coming out as 2 tenths, and that's why I'm kind of starting over again with Final Fortress, the manga that I'm creating with the the girl with the fox ears. So light is coming from in front of her. So a lot of these would be in lighting, which I'll reduce the amount of shadow later on. Once I actually finish shell shading the rest of these, and we're gonna have a mixture of cell shaded elements as well as some rendered parts, right? Right now I'm just generalizing the render, right? Cell shaded first, and then we'll move into more blended stuff. If you know what I mean. Some bounce light should be coming off here too. We'll take care of that later. Um, right there. I didn't really do a good job coloring this thing, but it's okay. It's all right enough to read what's going on. Looking good, man. Thanks, man. I think she's looking good too. I just want to say something about the channel too. We're kind of growing um, faster than I expected. I actually was trying to reach 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year, but it seems like we're gonna reach that very very soon. I would like to thank everyone. There'll be a video when I reach 2,000 subscribers and just thanking everyone. But for now, I'm gonna thank everyone in advance anyway. It's been a great experience working with you all and growing the community. It's humbling, you know. It's one of those things where I think to myself, I should have done this a long time ago, but um, I it's just insecurities really. I wasn't brave enough to do this before, but I think my friends, my friends and uh, some of my families, some of them, very select few of them, are quite supportive about my career and what I do. So they can encourage me too. But for the most part, I'm really inspired by my son, I want to do good by I want one day I wanted him to tell everybody about his dad. You know what I mean? Be proud of me. Somebody he could look up to. I think that's something that kids nowadays are missing, and I'm just basing this off somebody that I know, somebody who's dear to me. As this person doesn't have a proper role model in his life, and so he kind of does things out of emotions that he can't control, so that's not good. But what I'm saying is that you need somebody to look up to, and some people don't have that, don't have that father figure or older brother figure. And I want that to be for me to meet my kid, because if you don't have that, you're gonna get it from somewhere else, in for better or for worse. Sometimes the source is not a good source. Hopefully I'm making sense here. I don't sound like I'm just blabbering. But yeah, that's one of the primary motivations as to why I'm starting this channel and growing it, making videos for you all. Just basically telling what I know and also at the same time telling my story. Okay, so lights coming from here. Um, there's gonna be some diminishing returns of lights around this part, and it's gonna look a lot better later when I try to blend these. Right, I'm just trying to set up where everything is, like where the shadows go, all that good stuff. But this entire cape here is gonna be in light and slowly tapers off to a shadow element here. Hello. Okay, so that's the basic um, shape of the shadow. Okay, there's some shadows here that makes no sense, like this part here, but it'll make sense later. Grats, thanks, man. Okay, let's add some parts here. I think I'm just about ready to do the skin. Let's shade the skin. And the way I shade is I just subtract the shadow instead of adding them. So for example, here I added all the shadow parts, right? Which I think this is too red, too too saturated. Let's saturate it a little bit, something like that. Make it a bit orange. Okay, that's fine. This is fine. I think that's what it looks like. And let's add that there. I like painting like this because it kind of reminds me of how I used to paint on canvas. Which was rarely ever, right? I don't have none of my paintings really survived from all this shit that I've gone through. But I used to do that, just like the old school traditional painting stuff. You have your brush and your palette. That's how I was taught anyway. And I wasn't particularly good, of course. I sucked at painting. Okay, so a lot of her face will be in shadow despite it being um facing the light because of her hair. So let's just emphasize the part that isn't in shadow yet, like this part. Okay, under the nose. This hair is gonna cast a shadow too. Above the lips. And right under the lower lips, right? Something like that. Okay, that should be primed. Shoulders here should be in shadow. Everything else should be dark. There's gonna be some bounce light here too later, but I'll add that once I render stuff. Oh, the hand. And the other hand too, okay. So something like this maybe. And you just figure this out, right? As you go. It's not like I have a set um idea. I have a little bit of idea where everything goes. It's kind of but for the most part, I'm kind of just figuring it out as I go, right? So for example, this thing, Marcos. For example, this thing, the light is heading this way, so it's gonna cast a little bit of shadow around here. So let's just do that, yeah. Sorry, guys, that was my son. Okay, then, babes. Um, yeah, something like that. And then we'll add more details here later. I promise you, it's gonna look way better than what it is now. But this doing this just gives me a feel of where the shadow is or how the shadow is shaped. Looking at it now, I think I drew her hand a little longer, but that's fine. Stylistic choice, right? Okay. I like it. I like it. Let's just add some background stuff. Get away from the character for a bit. I did this lighting here. I think we can do better with the background. Let's do a dark orange, dark yellow, something like this. Not totally black because we're gonna add darker elements here, like that. Let's add some textures using Canlu's brushback. Really good brushback, by the way. If we ever get the chance to obtain it. Yo, love the vids, man. Hey, thanks. Thank you. Elias, sup, man? Welcome to the stream, buddy. Neck, Meek, HQ. How are your manga pages going? Going great. I am now about to finish 23 to 25, something like that, pages. After this painting, we're gonna move on to the manga stuff because I have that ready too. Good morning. How are you? How are you doing today? I'm doing great, man. Thanks for watching the stream. Yeah. How are you? But yeah, I'm gonna show you some of my manga stuff. This is a page that I'm doing. I'm not sure if you can see it. Again, I'm having trouble with my monitors, so it's kind of hard for me at the moment to stream at the same time as well as recording for videos. So this is one of my pages right here. Oh, it's upside down. Okay, there. It's not finished yet, but we'll jump into this after I finish the render for my commission page. Yeah, because I'm kind of running on a deadline at the moment, and I have like 2 days to finish that, and I could probably finish it today and just worry about my manga tomorrow. You know, this is almost done anyway. Let's just close this. Give me a sec, guys. There we go. Doing fantastic. That's great. Lee Chunky Cat. Hey, man. Hello. Welcome to the stream, buddy. Just chilling over here. Again, guys, I apologize. There's my third monitor, where I usually put my chat, is not working at the moment, and I can't fix it. I tried to fix it or have it fixed, and apparently it's just completely dead. I've had this for 6 years now, I think, a little bit more than that. And I think I just need to replace it. So I'm having trouble jumping from chat to chat because I have to alt tab now. My second monitor is sort of in use too because I'm kind of recording this painting for some of my speed paints and just overall videos, right? I got a video idea for this painting here, like a tutorial on how I would render this thing. I'm also recording that. I recorded this from Sketch to where it is right now, but I couldn't. I wanted to live stream this, me drawing it live from start to finish. But again, I'm on a deadline with commission page, so I can't really do that with these pages. Ooh, that looks good though, right? Look at that. Okay, so let's now. What was I just doing before I did that? Oh yeah, I was doing the texture for the background. Oops. Okay. She's kind of falling, and there'll be some effects here. It's because she's gonna be opening or trying to be opening a magical door. So there's gonna be a door in front of her later. The goal for today is just to finish the render for the character, and then tomorrow, I'll probably just do it off stream. But I'm gonna do the background here, and all the other foreground elements. Um, 2 days. Yeah, I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow too. I usually stream Saturday and Sunday around these hours, right? So tomorrow we'll be focused more on the manga stuff, and today we'll be, just dividing it between my commission and my own pages, right? I think that's what my subscribers actually come here to my pages to check out the manga. At least I that's what I think. The page flow is so nice, and don't worry, I'm sure most people are drawing and or working alongside you. Yeah, probably. I probably am too noisy. All right, so this is what I mean. I just want to reduce the shadow intensity a little bit. We get that cell shaded plus kind of rendered look, right? See that? We'll go even further later on with this, but for now, this is kind of what I want to do. Also, I just want to make it known that I have a reference for this from a popular artist. I didn't really copy. Well, I just copied the post and then modified it a little bit. Um, I don't remember the name of the artist because I just found it on in Pinterest. But I'll be sure to reference him once this is finished. I think it's Dino because I use a lot of his art as reference. Could have been Dino from Instagram. I like it. Some bounce light here. Let's use the lasso tool. And let's add a little bit of bounce light here too. Okay. Soften up a lot of the shadows in front. There you have it. How I usually render skin. I'm trying to improve this. I think I can do a lot better job, but I need to study a little bit more. Yeah. And what I'm trying to say is I improve my rendering process, especially when it comes to skin. I think that's really important. Looking good now. It's just shaping up to be something at least. Okay. For the cape, I like to add like a bit of a stripy, curvy strokes. What am I saying? Like this, right? Is what I mean to say. It's like see this stripy thing here. If you do that enough, it's gonna create a texture that looks like is appropriate for clothing. Same with the hair. Oh yeah, looking good. I actually took my time with um, this drawing, painting this piece because I wanted to. I was just looking back at my old paintings, and they look so good than what I'm doing right now, and I can't believe I haven't done anything of the same caliber for a very long time. And I think it's because I lack the preparation stage. I'm kind of missing that now. And also I've switched styles from doing manga then doing something like this, which I haven't done in a very long time. So it's like I have to stretch this muscle again. trying to remember all the stuff that I already learned but forgotten. Okay, I like that. I like this hair. So now we're gonna add the inner shadows, which is just another multiply layer. And this is just about the shadows in between. Maybe in between the folds like this. It just adds a bit more subtlety to it, that I like. Between the hair. Something like that. Looks great so far. Thanks, man. Pharaoh, I think I will just do manga style forever. Yeah, for sure. Well, the thing is that I do this for a living, and that there are clients that requires me to have a different style, so I gotta be versatile with that, right? I have my own style, of course, which I would say my own style would be the manga art style that I'm doing right now, because that's like the most common thing that I do. Um, but if you do this as a job, you gotta be able to do multiple styles to cater to your clients. Which is actually, what, when I was starting this, that it was I was so confident to tell my clients that I could do any style. Um, but copying a different style is actually harder than what it looks. And now I don't do that anymore. I just okay, this is my three styles, right? I do more anime stylized stuff, and then I do something like this, which is like something in between an anime and more like a painting. I don't know what you would call it. Okay, I'm sure there's a name for it. And then I do manga. Even for manga, I have like two styles for manga, right? And again, that's just because you gotta be able to adapt to your client's needs. I shouldn't be shading the skin yet, but I've done it anyway. So, YOLO? Maybe. Oh yeah, we're gonna be reviewing some of your guys' submission in Discord too. Um, After this, yeah. What I'm gonna do is just shade two more layers, two or three more layers, and then we're gonna get into some art review stuff. There, this week's submission are kind of bonkers actually. When I saw them earlier, they're pretty crazy. I shouldn't have rendered the skin. That was a big mistake. Kind of regretting doing that. It's because I have a separate layer for the skin. How's everyone? Hey, man. Everyone's great, I hope. Definitely doing great. I'm definitely doing great. Oh, interesting. I'm focusing on creating one shots and short stories to just practice manga. That's great, man. That's actually how you would start it. And that was one of my mistakes that I made when I was starting out. Is I was trying to make big stories already instead of just making one shots. And I learned very quickly that that's not the way to go to learn manga. You should always start with a one shot first, even if you're not doing it to um, submit to a competition or something like that, right? Making a one shot is always it's like a test for yourself too. If you can write a story in short form. This hair is going to be it's going to take a while to render this hair, guys. It's really elaborate, yeah. Hair is taking shape. Can't wait to do the lighting here. It's gonna pop out even more once I get to that. But I'll do that later. We'll do some reviews first, and we'll continue with this after I finish with this shading with the hair. Yeah. That looks good. I just checked my analytics, by the way. I'm kind of surprised that a lot of my viewers, like at least half of my viewers, right, are from North America. Probably because I'm speaking English. Um, and only around 30%, I think, is from Asia. Something like that, right? I don't remember my the exact numbers, but I was expecting it to be more like the opposite, right? Like, because I'm in Asia. I bet if I was speaking my own language, that number would be inverse. So yeah, it's interesting to learn these things. Because back in the day, I thought that if you live in the Philippines, you'll only get Filipino viewers, for example, right? I don't know where I got the idea from. Don't ask. I don't know how to add people. I don't know how to do that either, man. I may look like a professional streamer, but I am a noob at technology. Trust me. I used to be really updated with all this tech stuff back in the day. This used to interest me quite a lot. It still interests me in a way, but I'm no longer up to date as to what's like the newest. I don't even know what iPhone we are at them or not. What the newest iPhone is, I don't know what the model is now. What are we like in Samsung Galaxy S 59,000 something like that? Um, I just lost interest over time. It's nothing that it's not a snobbish thing, It's just not in me anymore. I really don't like this cape. I think it needs a little bit more texture, and I'm having trouble rendering it um because of the hair is on the way and on its way. Hmm. What I'm gonna do is let's delete the render for the cape, and we're gonna create a separate layer for the shadow of the cape, right? Something we can render behind the hair, so we don't feel too constrained with it. If that makes sense. Let's add a bit more texture to make it more realistic. Where's my texture thing? No, that's not it. There it is. Okay, I'm liking this a lot better than what I used to have it. I'm not a tech guy. I just draw. Yeah, same. So if you ask me how to do stuff on Discord, for example, or on here, I'm gonna tell you I have no idea. I'm an old soul, okay? Maybe that's not an excuse not to learn stuff. This is so much better. Top is lagging a little bit, as always. Okay, that looks way better. A lot more structured, but it still needs help. Where can you find the Discord server? Oh, okay. I'll send you the link. Um, yeah, I always keep forgetting to pin this at the beginning of the stream, right? That's the link to my Discord server. It's quite small at the moment, and honestly, it's not very active. So I'm just trying to add new people there, just to um, just to add new people to be more active. If that makes sense. What am I talking? What am I saying? I can't speak properly today. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Good luck on the review, huh? Okay, that looks way better. It could still be better, but I'll settle for this for now. Oh, the pub. Don't worry. Every server starts somewhere. Yeah, of course. I'm just I'm just trying to grow it and get past the beginning stage. Honestly, I'm just trying to learn as I go. Okay, it's a humbling experience. Just knowing how much you don't know. I like this already. Um, we'll add a little bit of lighting. Okay, I think there's some red here, so let's do something like this. Even good? No, doesn't look good. All right, that looks okay. I'm gonna add the rim light first. Gonna be a little bit of rim lighting and just a little bit around this area. There's gonna be a red light, so that's why it's like a little bit pinkish. I'm kind of thinking the light shouldn't be red because it looks evil. Let's do blue instead, yeah? It matches well with the purple thing. How about a green lighting? Oh, wow, I like that. Maybe blue green. Okay, definitely blue green. Something like that. Like teal. Okay. %, the Discord will grow with time. I hope so. Well, actually, I know so. You gotta affirm it. It used to be a lot more active, by the way. All of my friends are there, but they've been um offline for a while now. So it's just me and a couple of people. And, I try to be active as much as I can. Okay, we're gonna take a little bit of a break, and we're gonna start reviewing some of the submissions for this week. There isn't much. I think there's like two or three. Let me just prepare my stuff. Yeah. Okay. Oh crap! You know what? I wasn't recording that. I'm having a lot of trouble with the stream right now. Okay, so because again, my monitor is broken. I gotta move things out manually than I normally would. I'm very sorry about this, guys. This is a terrible stream. All right, so you should be able to see the artwork that's submitted. This was from Carrion. I think he's in chat, right? Yeah, you're in chat right now. This is your piece. I am interested in your FX and compositing process. We'll get there later. Yeah, I'll show you how you do that. Usually I just add some effects there. Anyway, so this is a wonderful rendered piece, by the way. This is what I like to see on the Discord, because a lot of times people just submit sketches, and I want to see complete paintings, man. I'm the kind of guy who likes to look at complete piece instead of just sketching all the time. Sketching is good, of course, and I love looking at sketches when I'm trying to determine how you're thinking. But more than anything, I love looking at completed artwork. I want to see you guys stretch your art muscles, for lack of a better word. Yeah. What does that mean? Carry on. I'm not sure what that means. Anyways, yeah, this is the type of things that I like to see. So a couple of things that you could improve here is maybe some bounce light over on the shadow side, because right now it's just, I think there's some room lighting there, right? But I want you try to add try to take your eraser tool and dumb it down to 30% opacity, and then just start erasing just a little bit of bounce light. Let me try to demonstrate that here. Give me one moment. Crap. I gotta move this thing again. Give me a sec, guys. Okay, I'm just gonna set this up. I apologize. My stream is a bit all over the place right now. I am so sorry about this. Okay, let's just do that for now and remove this. Yep. Mic test. Okay. All right, this should work. Let's just turn that everything off. So this side over here, the shadow side, what I would do is add a little bit of bounce light. So again, 30% opacity, and just do something like this. I hope you don't mind me using your art, by the way. We do something like that. You see, very subtle, but it just adds a little bit more flavor to the shadow side, right? And same here, like this maybe. See that? Very subtle. Maybe even more here. Wait, let me try a different color. Too much. Again, just don't go all out with it. Um, but if you do that all over the place, you'll see significant improvement on the shading. But I like the shading. I can tell you're not using just a typical black color for the shade, because it doesn't look muddy. Especially on the skin here, you got some terminators going on the on between the light side and the shadow side of the face. That's pretty good. I do that too. Should be right here. You know what? I need to what do I do with this thing? Okay. Wait, no. There you go. All right, so yeah, again, there's some room lighting here. Using color dodge layers options. I don't actually use color dodge. I think it's too saturated for me, but that's just me, right? I mean, you could definitely do that if you know how to control color dodge. But for me, I just use overlay, and maybe some vivid shadows here and there if the light is really strong. Um, oh, come on, you didn't notify in the Discord, or maybe I didn't get I did notify in the Discord, by the way. And hello, Pillowhead, welcome to the stream, guys. Um, but yeah, carry on. This should hopefully help you on rendering your pieces a lot better. But this is already a really good um, artwork here. And the lighting, love it. Maybe just add a little bit more white to the blues. So here, right? This blue here, I would add a little bit of white there. Just a little bit of glimmer, similar to the eyes. Or instead of just a boring dot, they could do something like this. Where it follows the shapes, the shape of the circle. And same with these lightings, yeah. Make it a bit more thick and add a little bit of white to them. And with the lighting here, it looks good. But what you can do to make it better, let's create a black background now. And let's do a color, something like this, right? Something like that. Or let's do a like a triangle, but more rigid. Actually, you know what? Let's just do lightning, the thing that I know how to do. Okay, but you can apply this principle with the HUD elements on your character, right? So start with a blue or whatever color your light is. Let's zoom out here a little bit. And yeah, I would duplicate this layer and then make that white. Okay, so now you got two layers of the same thing. One is white, which is in front of the blue layer, right? So like that. So it will look like this. So now take your select the layer below that, and then go to filters and Gaussian blur. I usually do 22. Let's see if that works. Maybe stronger. And yeah, something like that, right? So for example, if you're doing something like this, let's write something because it looks more technological. The thing that you were doing here. Actually, you know what? Let me take a look. Let me see if I can copy that. Okay, I can probably copy that. Just very quickly. All right, so you got something like this going on with the HUD. Then again, duplicate that layer, turn that white, and then Gaussian blur the blue layer below that. Maybe that's too strong. Let's, you can just adjust it. 22 maybe, no, 11. So it's the glow is a lot stronger, a lot more, a lot more highlighted if that makes sense. Maybe 5. See, that looks good to me, right? And then you can just maybe darken the background here. Now you got your HUD element. And just play around with the lighting. Anyways, it's just very quick, but hopefully that makes sense. But this is already very good, by the way. That would be my takeaway for the for this artwork. Hopefully that was helpful for you. Carry on. How much did I miss? About an hour's worth. I use Clip Studio Paint. I'm sure you can find the same elements in Clip Studio Paint. They have layers and they have Gaussian blur there, so I'm pretty sure you can still do that. But that's just like the logic of the layering, right? Of what I usually do. Yeah, it just makes the laser HUD thing a lot more clearer, and also it's rim lighting a lot more clearer. All right, let's move on to the next painting. Again, I apologize. I gotta adjust um my camera again. I'm gonna have to buy a new monitor, by the way, guys. I'm gonna make sure that this thing is visible. Let's just get rid of this. Oops. No. This. All right, and just put that here. Place this here. And okay, you should be able to see my things. Go to the next guy. This person, I love these drawings. Okay, so it's I can't read his name. It just starts with a letter S. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I can't see his name. Again, guys, I'm new to this, so I seriously, is it seriously whimsy? Is that it? Yeah, seriously. I'm just gonna go with seriously whimsy. Serious whimsy. Serious underscore whimsy. This is his artwork. Is it this artwork? Is it? Yeah, it's his artwork. And look at this, guys. This is a sick character. Very original. It's also done traditionally, so it's I don't know, just for me, I have a little bit of a bias when it comes to traditional art, right? Um, yeah, it reminds me of Zeus, but there's a like this justice thing going on here. He submitted a few pieces, so this is also really good. Again, more really original designs here, and also this guy. It reminds me of like a harpy. This wings here with the low hanging wings. I don't know what to call it. And this lady here has a harpy legs, I think. And I'm not sure if that was the inspiration, but it just reminds me of that. Yeah. Well, the thing is, I don't really have much. Well, let me see if I can get my sketchbook. Give me a sec. Let me see if I can get my sketchbook. If I can find it. Okay, I can't find it. Sorry, guys. But I would just maybe use some I don't know what you call it in English. Cotton buds. That's English, right? The thing that you clean your ears with. Because when I was doing traditional, I used to use cottons or cotton buds or anything that I can make a smudge out of to make the shading a lot more um, refined, right? And I can see he does that a little bit here and within these areas. Man, I wish I could find my sketchbook because I could just demonstrate this on the fly, but I can't find it at the moment. The community has lots of good artists. It makes me shy to submit. Dude, don't be shy, man. I guess that's what the community is about, is to put yourself out there and really just be confident about your art, because all art, regardless of how bad it is, deserves to be looked at. And if your art isn't on par with everybody else, then that's just opportunity for you to ask feedback, right? Because that's how I got good really quickly, is through just taking feedback seriously. Somebody said that I drew faces really poorly back in the day, and they're absolutely right. So instead of getting mad at that feedback, then I just take it internally, take a deep breath, and realize that they were right, and now I have to improve with my faces. So feedback is one of the things that you can use to improve quickly. Elias, you should post for sure. Yeah, you should post for sure, man. It's nice to see everyone's progress. Dude, there is a artist that posts regularly on my channel, Half Pace. Shout out to Half Pace. And I remember his first post wasn't wasn't as good as his newer post now, and to me that's just really exciting, to see somebody's feedback in real time. I mean, somebody's progress in real time. It's exciting, man. It's really good to see. First time when attempted drawing people, they had alien faces. Hey, that's where you got to start somewhere, right? And you got to know where you are at with your art journey, so that you can at least improve from there. But you got to know where you're at first. You got to humble yourself and realize you're not that good. Even for me, I've been drawing for pretty much all my life. I don't see myself as like the best artist or even good artist. Give me a sec, guys. My son is here. Yeah, I am up. I'll play with you later, okay? Okay, bye bye. We close the door. See ya. Sorry, guys. That was my son. I had to entertain him for a little bit. We're back though. We're back. Where was I? What was I saying? I totally forgot. Oh yeah, you gotta start somewhere. That's just it. My face proportion were so bad. Yeah, man. Yeah, I get that's just how it is when you start. Kurisu Okabe, join the Discord server. Thanks, man. Welcome to the server, and welcome to the stream too. Glad to see everybody's art here, right? But yeah, just going back here, maybe I can do a little bit of traditional art digitally. I'm gonna do my best, but I'm probably gonna butcher this drawing. But I want to give feedback as much as I can. Okay. Um, 'cause that's what it is for. I have a pencil. I have a pencil brush here that at least mimics a pencil. I don't know. It does feel like a pencil to me. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so I can't really demonstrate what I mean with digital though. So let's try this instead. Um, okay, here it is. I'll demonstrate it, guys. I found my drawing book. I can't find my sharpener. So wait. Everybody, just relax. I want to do this right. Okay, here we go. Ooh, traditional stream, eh? Very so this sketchbook is pretty much empty. I actually just use this to study, to let my son study. Um and also to study some Japanese. I'm learning kanji at the moment. So the way I learn is I have to write it over and over again. But anyways, this is what I mean. Okay, so I have a Q-tip. That's the one. That's it. This is a Q-tip. If you don't have a Q-tip, I'll show you how you can do it too. So let's just draw a simple shape. This thing, by the way, is for my son. Let's draw a simple shape. So I want to make this quick. Draw a cube, yeah? Can you guys see the cube? I think it should be visible. Okay, so let's just shade it here. So the way you're currently shading it right now is like this. Yeah, from the looks of it, which is already great. But what you can do is if you sharpen your pencil enough, then you can use the edge of the pencil like this. See that? Much more refined, much more natural looking shadows. I'm really having a hard time gripping this thing because of I'm not using a table, right? But imagine if I have my sharpener right now, and you can really use the flat part of the pencil, right? Because I'm doing something like this, like this. I'm making my pencil really as flat as I can, and it just results into a much better shading result. And I think I see you do this thing here too. I'm not quite sure, but it looks like you've done a little bit of it in the darker part of the shadow. And also the Q-tip is if you shade like this, right? And you take a Q-tip and you smudge it like this. It kind of has it gives you a much more softer shadow. Or if you're not really meticulous about it, just use your thumb, right? Use your fingers, and it should smudge it properly, right? But it's not really good when you're smudging on like tiny drawings, right? I usually use this technique with big faces back in the day, and you just smudge it on the face. But eventually, your finger's gonna go black. But hopefully that makes sense, right? That's one of my tricks back in when I used to do traditional. Let's get back to the drawing. Sorry, guys. Again, camera is. I wish I had my third monitor right now to look at chat. Um. So I'm not quite sure if he's on the stream though. But if he sees this, hopefully that helps. With art, you always grow. Yeah, of course, man. It's a lifelong journey. It's a lifelong partner, and it's never gonna leave you. Drawing faces is rough to nail. I've been trying to do character sheets for manga I'm doing. Just keep drawing at it, man. Just keep studying. Okay, here's what you do. Okay, when you're trying to draw a face next time, um, instead of just drawing it, also study it at the same time. Okay, it's not enough to just keep drawing 1,000 faces without learning at the same time. It's progress is going to be very slow. So what I mean by that is have a reference right next to you when you're drawing a face. It helps quite a lot, and also understand what the face is. And what I mean by that again is what the face is made out of. Okay, the eyes and learn the skull, break it down to simple shapes. I think I don't have a video about that yet, don't I? Yeah, I don't have a video about that yet. I think I do. I've made a few. I may have anyway. But yeah, if you take a look at Proco, I think I can recommend Proco and Cynics. I always recommend those two because they're really easy to learn from as a beginner. Um, yeah. So just break it down to simple shapes. Save the sketchpad. You might get invited to Trojan Horse was a unicorn in the future. I don't know what that means, Elias. But I really just use that sketchpad to learn some Japanese and also teach my son some, the alphabets. Anyways, that's really my main feedback here. But I don't really have any real feedback. The design of the characters are crazy. Maybe just trace over this with a pen with a cleaner line and then make the design really pop out because at the moment it looks really rough. So I would just clean this up a lot more, yeah? Yeah, it looks really rough. Okay, I'm just gonna keep my camera like this. I think you guys can see what I'm doing with the camera being like this, yeah? Exposure is good enough, I think. Does that make sense to you guys? It makes sense, right? Makes sense to me. All right, next one last one is this thing from who are you in Discord? Not use art. Oh, there's a new one here from Skits. All right, we'll do that too. But we'll do this first, okay? This one I can tell you did this in Clip Studio Paint just because of the shading. It looks very Clip Studio Painty. I could be wrong, of course. So let's paste that here. This is definitely Clip Studio Paint, right? Correct me if I'm wrong though. If you're in chat right now. Trojan Horse was a unicorn is a YouTube channel where they invite artists to show their sketchpad and tell stories about it. Oh, dude, I got my old sketchpad, man. I still have my sketchpad from high school, dude. And you know what? I was just looking at it, and I can't believe I drew like that. It's like I can no longer draw in the same level that I used to draw when I was in high school. When it comes to traditional drawing, traditional art, right, with a pencil, because I just haven't done it in maybe more than a decade, and I'm quite scared to go back into it. But dude, I was looking at it and it looks so good, and I'm just hyping myself up. But it's true anyway. It's one of those things where you wish you could still draw like that. Can you give me a sec? But yeah, man. I'll show you guys my sketchpad one day, and maybe I'll even make a YouTube video about it. I even have my old projects too from high school, pretending we have a client, and yeah, it was so fun. Art school was real fun. Well, I didn't really go to an art school, but I went to a school where they have art as a subject. Watch your video on brief explanation about world building and of your story. How long did it take you to complete all that? Well, it's not. Oh, you mean the video or the world building stuff? The video, it took me less than a week to make, and the world building stuff took me the entirety of 2025 to finish. A lot of failures, a lot of failed script, and shitty ideas that I had to throw away. Pages that was just wasted. Thanks for the tips. I appreciate it. So that's you then, serious whimsy. Yeah. So that's what I would do anyway with traditional. Man, I really have to go back to traditional art because I just have it's good content, right? I haven't done it for a while, and it's one of those things, where digital artist goes back to traditional. That could be cool. Oh yeah, going back to this. Sorry, I got distracted there. So going back to this, this is more of a manga art style, right? With the half tones here. And the reason why I say it's Clip Studio Paint is because of the type of half tones that you're using. It looks familiar. It looks very Clip Studio Painty. But again, I could be wrong. You know. So going back with the feedback, the way I give feedback, by the way, is more of the technical side, not really of the more of the fundamentals, right? Because I'm not really articulate enough to teach you fundamentals. But so I'm speaking of technical. It's just, for example, the line work here. It looks clean, but if you zoom in, if you look closer to it, not even zoom in, there's some things that could improve, right? The hair here, it looks like paper, so maybe I would just make this sharper, right? So okay, here's some positive feedback. You do understand how the hair works. It works like paper. That's probably why it looks like paper right now. And so it kind of bends like this, and then it bends down like that towards the back, right? Like that. That's how like the hair works. But you kind of forgot to erase this part here and actually make it look like a hair. So I would just do that here, right? Simple. Like that. Just to make it more hair-like. You can even make a variation and, twist it like this, or have a strand there maybe. This line needs to be a little bit more smoother. I understand what you're doing with this. I do that too, with the hair, but I would make it a lot smoother like this, just to give the hair a bit more of a shape. Because right now it just looks like the hair is doing like this instead of flowing naturally with the with everything else, right? So I would just flow that here. The line work here, I mean, it looks like you're doing this, right? Which is good, but I would just stroke do one stroke just to make it a lot cleaner, right? So this here looks really dirty. This here looks really dirty. Here looks really dirty, right? So and you just got to be more deliberate with your strokes, man. That sounds really that sounds wrong. Eyebrows too. It needs to be a little bit further here. Face looks good. Face proportions looks good. Yeah, looks good. Um, but yeah, just the eyebrows maybe. Just go a bit further. Yeah, the face proportion looks good. I don't have any feedback there. Everything else looks good, man. I see you doing that boob thing with the game with video games where they have bras that goes inwards like this. This is unrealistic. If that's what you're after, then it's totally fine. By the way, I got no problem with that. But with female breasts, they don't really usually look like this. Usually, quote unquote, usually. Okay, guys, I know. So it would slop out like that instead of like a circle because it's never really a circle. Okay, it looks like you're just using the logic of a circle here. It's more like a melon shape or a papaya shape. It's more like that. Okay, it's more like this. So like this, that would be the muscle of it, right? The inner workings of it. So because it's like that, and then it cuts here to the shoulders and slash armpit, and I would just erase this part. And now, if you want a more bit more realistic shape, I would cut here too, because that this thing doesn't really happen in real life. But again, no, not a problem if this is what you're after. If this type of boob is what you're after, the Mona, the Genshin Impact type, what I like to think of. Um, because they have this boobs, right, where their clothing goes underneath the boob, which is really funny to me. That when somebody pointed out to me, now I can't unsee it. All right, but basically just clean up your outline work. The freaking hair looks like paper. And hair is never like this, okay? Even with bob cuts, my character has a bob cut, and you would expect a bob cut to look like this. But if it's a bob cut, then I would at least have some variations of cuts here, like that, right? Instead of just one papery um, line there. So just to make it more hair-like, right? If this is what you're trying to do, yeah, just make it more hair-like. Okay, there you go. Does that make sense? So with the lips, I usually detail the upper part of the lips. I learned this from drawing a lot of Bleach characters. But really, the lips already looks good, by the way. Your lips, the one that you did. Sorry, I just overlaid that. I got carried away. Uh, yeah. What's everybody saying? Sorry, I can't look at chat while I'm talking because I gotta alt tab a lot. Okay. I like to start traditional, then move to digital. Something to help me keep things a bit more fluid. Yeah, yeah, I get that. I've never done that myself, but I've seen people do that too. They take a picture and then trace it over digitally. I think that's a really cool trick, man. But if you have any finished artwork, I would love to see it. Serious, guys. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna get a drink, and we're gonna review the last part of the submissions. Yeah. All right, last part. Sorry, guys. My throat is kind of dry, and I made it worse by drinking Coke. Bad idea. All right, last submission. This one is pretty good. I don't know if I can give feedback. Oh, oops, sorry. I just passed out there. Okay, this is again one of the things that I would like beginners to do is experiment with different expressions and also the consistency of the faces because these faces looks really consistent, which is actually one of my weaker parts of my drawings because I have trouble drawing consistent faces. Um, at least that's the feedback that I got, right? And that's something I have to work with. But again, this is definitely the things that you want to see when you're trying to learn art is just variations of the same guy, just facial expression studies. Excuse me. Is this also halftone? Yeah, it is halftone. This is also Clip Studio Paint, right? Everybody's using Clip Studio Paint nowadays, eh? Actually, I should also be using Clip Studio Paint because it's really good for manga creation. So what I do, well, actually, I use it a little bit. What I do is I draw it in Photoshop because I'm more comfortable and with the shortcuts and the tools that I use in Photoshop. And then when I'm ready to print, I transfer it over to Clip Studio Paint as a JPEG. I know it's terrible, and then I just make it print ready. I don't really have any real feel. The hatching lines look really good. I like what you're doing here with the line work here with the shadows that you did. I do that too. Really cool. You made a line here. Really cool. I can tell that is the light coming from this way. Actually, let me make a new layer. If the light is coming this way, or it looks like it's, yeah, it's definitely from here. I can't tell, but it's somewhere here, right? Then I would just copy this type of shadow and the Rembrandt. I think it's Rembrandt. And shade that like this. Yeah. Something like this. Yeah, that works. You usually shade the upper part of the lips here too. I'm just nitpicking, okay? And a little bit of the bottom part here too. Just a little bit, not too much. Maybe just improvement in the ear. So the ears, just to simplify it, the way I draw it is, so one thin gap here at the top, and then as it goes here, it gets a little bit thicker, and then one bump, and then I just shade that like that. And I draw a letter Y here. See the Y? So just to simplify the ear, that's what I just usually do. It's the ear for me is like an afterthought. Yeah. Because my characters usually have long hair that covers it anyway. But that's how I would draw it. And of course, just shade the gaps here, gaps here. Anyway, you know what I mean, right? But again, shading hatching lines, they're already really good. I would just give you advice with the hatching lines here. Maybe you can try erase the some highlights like this. This is nitpicking. You don't really have to do this, but this is just what I would do just to improve on the drawing just a little bit, maybe. Yeah, see? Already some sort of improvement going on here. It just adds more volume to the hair. This line work here is really clean. I mean, it's really deliberate. I really like this. I love your drawings, man. They're so clean. The jawline here, right? Really, really good line work. Um, yeah, I got nothing for you. I'm so sorry. This is the things that I would really like people to see, to do, right? These studies. Yeah. Anyway, really good. I would love to see more from you, more complete drawings than just studies. I would love. Okay, to be clear, I love looking at studies too. I don't mind that, but for if you're already in this level, I would love to see a completed drawing. Is that Mason number two? Oh, there's one more. Okay, okay. This is the last one for today, guys. Okay, but thank you for your submission skits. I'll do one more, and then we'll finish the commission page. Okay, because I gotta finish that. We'll do one more. We can always do more tomorrow. So this again, this is more of the things that I really like to see when you're studying. Different angles. Demonstrate that you can do this. If you can't do this, that's totally fine. Just do some sketches, and I want to see those too. Different poses, different views of the character, right? Back pose. This is a concept art character sheet. Isaiah Cohen, really well done here. I like the character, especially the face. Maybe the pants part here, I'm not a big fan of. Maybe what I'll do here is, well, let's do an anatomy check, okay? So I'm not gonna do the head because the head looks fine. So let's start from the shoulders, and spine would go like this, right? It's more of an S shape, and I, you might have a stylized character than what I have in mind. And abdomen, just something very quick, right? What's that, baby? Oh, trick or treat. Hold on, guys. My son is here again. So sorry about this. What are you doing, baby? Marcos. Ah, did you die? Obviously not. All right, sorry. Okay, so he has a very small hip bone, right? The hip bone should go something like this. I mean, this part looks really small, so yeah. And the legs should go like that. So what I would do is just maybe move this part like that a lot bit more, and make that shape a lot more tapered, right? Before, oops, no, I can't go put it back. But anyway, let me duplicate that, and again, just move this part here. And shorts here. So it's again much more tapered, a gradual flow here, and the anatomy fits that. Actually, you know, we could probably do more, something like that, and move it just a tad bit more, right? I thank you, baby. So now it's a much more natural shape. But if this thing was your what you were doing, I guess it's fine if you're trying to stylize that. It's just bothering me right now that he doesn't have. It's a very small hip bone. See, you did. This one's pretty good. The other one's pretty good. He doesn't have this shape, right? His butt looks. It should curve a bit more here. Um, Other than that, I don't really have a problem with this. Other than this part here again. But this one looks more natural. It looks more manly. Right? And if you want to have that like hip hop kind of vibe, then just taper this here instead of tapering it here. So what you did before is taper the hips here. Instead, taper it here. Right? If that does that make sense? See? You kind of did this instead of doing this. Maybe that's not the best way to explain it. But what I usually do is do an anatomy check, see if everything else is proportioned, and I just draw over it with a red line here. Right? Maybe he doesn't have that leg. The legs looks fine. The legs looks fine. This looks proportionate. It looks fine. And this part here is really just bothering me. Again, I'm really nitpicking here. Faces here is really good. Very consistent. I'm trying to see if you copy pasted any of the hair. No, you didn't. Or maybe you're just so good at it that I can't tell. Okay, don't worry about it. Yeah, so that's my initial feedback. Again, this is really great. Here's another tip. Okay, when you're doing character design, when you design a character and you want it to look cool, try not giving him. This is just my philosophy. Okay, this is of course there's nothing wrong with what you did, but I'm just applying my own philosophy here. A cool character is so easy to do if you add guns and sword, right? The gun here and a sword. But take those away, and is he still cool? Does he still stand out? Right? So it's really easy to do that with a male character, to give him a big sword or big gun or just sword and guns in general, and instantly makes him look cool. But the hallmark of a good character designer is that he can make mundane things, and he can make a random NPC, a construction worker, a chef. He can make all of that look really cool without giving them weapons, right? To contrast this with female characters, a good hallmark of a good character designer when he designs female characters is if you can make it look sexy, if you can make her look sexy without overly sexualizing her, if that makes sense, right? So a good example is Genshin Impact characters. They're super hyper sexy, but if you actually look at most of their designs, they're not overly revealing. I mean, let's take a look, yeah? Let's see Eula. I haven't played any of other video games that relates to this, but if you look at Eula's design, a character from Genshin Impact, super. I can't find a high res. Why is this? Okay, this one looks high res. Okay, well, I want a full body one. Maybe I can probably work with this. Let's just do that. So I'm not sure if you can see it. So take a look at this character, right? Really, really cute, really sexy. But if you notice, the only part that's revealing with her is this small portion of her legs. Does that make sense? Right? That's the only thing that's revealing. She has a small window on her back that shows her back, but even that, still a very small thing to to show skin. So again, that's the hallmark of a good character designer. If you can design a sexy female character without overly revealing her. Let's take a look one more character. Actually, let's just go Genshin Impact characters. Oh, okay. Here's another example. Amber, one of the earlier characters you get, right? So again, what's revealing about this is just her legs, and maybe a little part of here. It's like that's nothing, but still super cute, super sexy, right? But not. She doesn't look like a whore, if that makes sense. one more, like it's just a random one. Let's see. All right, here's three characters from Genshin Impact. I'm just using Genshin Impact because it's the only thing that I know from gacha characters. Look at Ganyu here, not revealing at all. Only her shoulders. Xiaoyu is a bit more revealing, a little bit, right? Her legs are quite exposed, and this guy here is a guy, by the way. His legs is exposed, right? But besides that, there's nothing really here that makes them look like a whore. Okay, but they're still very sexy, very cute, and that to me is how you do character design. Okay, so at the moment, to be honest with you, I'm gonna be very critical because I have some character designing backgrounds, and this character, if you take away his sword and his gun, he just looks like a regular guy, yeah, with maybe cool fashion sense. But I can't really tell what he is, what he does at a glance. And again, that's another hallmark of a good designer. So you can tell what immediately what it is just by looking at it without any context. And at the moment, I really can't tell what he is. Right? I He's probably a gunslinger, an assassin of some sort because I can see his guns. But if you take that away, he just looks like a normal. Maybe that's the point, right? But again, it's character design. You're supposed to know what he's about. But there's some exceptions to that because you can always just support it with dialogue later on. But my point is, without any of those things, does he look like the thing that you're trying to portray him as, man, without any context at all? Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Sorry, I haven't been looking at chat for a while. Where was I? Where did I left off? I actually want to submit. Okay, yeah, just submit, guys. But that would be the last one I'll submit today. Should look cool, like a Kamen Rider, yeah. Yeah, if the Kamen Rider, just make sure that it's quite clear, right? Even if the Kamen Rider is in its human form, because remember, your audience needs to know them at a glance, and even if it's not explained in the character sheet, that should be explained. Okay, like I can definitely see, a reason why this character looks bland without, maybe if you take away the guns and the sword, right? Because maybe he's an assassin and is trying to blend in. But to the client, to the audience, right? To the person you're designing it for, those things, the thing he does needs to be clear in the character sheet. Does that make sense, guys? Hopefully it makes sense. Okay, I didn't even think about highlights. Yeah, this erase the half tones and you'll get a little bit of a highlight there. Is it possible to get some feedback on one of my character sheets I've posted on the channel? I think you're the one who posted this, right, Isaiah? Is that you? Thank you so much for the feedback. I was trying to get to a stylish look with the designs. Yeah. Well, I can definitely tell that. What would I do? I mean, I don't have any context of who this is again as a character, but if it's an assassin and if it's trying to blend in, I think the face looks okay. He looks like a Vash Stampede, what's the name of the Cowboy Bebop main character? I forgot his name. What's his name? What was his name? Cowboy Bebop. I know his name. But it's giving me that vibe, right? The Cowboy Bebop vibe. I think I would just really emphasize the I don't know. I honestly, I don't know how I would approach this. I don't have any context. Maybe I would give him a scarf or some sort. He can put it in his face to look more ominous, less obvious. You base him of Spike. Spike, that's the one. Driving me crazy. But yeah, I definitely get that Spike vibe. But okay, there's so much more into character design. I would suggest you look into Spike Spiegel. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, it's killing me, man. That name was killing me for a while. I suggest you look at Feng Zhu. Really, he's one of the OGs, one of the pioneers of like early 2000 concept art for movies like Star Wars and other video games that you might know. Feng Zhu, really good channel, by the way, if you want to do character design, concept design in general, environment design. He's one of the few people that actually inspired me to pick up a pen and start drawing. I have a video about him too, if you want to check that out. But that should conclude our this week's or this today's submission. Okay. Hopefully there was some help there. So I'm gonna go back to my commission drawing. I'm just gonna delete these layers, okay? All right, where were we? Here's the character. Hey, she actually looks good without the background. I'll be right back. I just need to drink some water this time. I drank Coke earlier. Not a good idea. Hello. What are you doing? Tabi ka? All right. One moment, guys. My son is here. Okay. All right, let's go back to this thing. Yeah, very helpful feedback, dude. Thank you. No worries, man. Anytime. I'll do this once a week, or twice a week if there's enough submissions. Working on a 10-page manga. We'll make sure to send updates in the mid. Yeah, for sure, man. I can't wait. I would love to see your pages. Okay, wait lang. Whoops. Where's my blue? Okay. Actually, hold on, guys. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna put my son to sleep. I'm gonna prepare his bed. I'm gonna keep streaming. Just give me a sec, okay? I said, give me a sec. I'll be right back. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm brushing my son's teeth. Give me a sec. I'm just preparing him for bed. Yeah. Whew. All right. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. What did I miss? Our favorite stream guest. I think her head is too long, right? Let's do an anatomy check. So there's that head right here. Ears should be here, not visible. And neck. Collarbone. And yeah, the anatomy is pretty wonky. So actually, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Shoulders here. I just think the shoulder is a bit too low, but it's not so low that it's messing up my drawing. It does look a bit weird. So this should be the deltoids, and it goes like that. And shoulder blades should be here, and other blade here. I totally forgot how the ribs is shaped from the back. Let's just say it's like that, right? Abdomen, back. That looks okay. What I think is the problem is that the shoulders are too low, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with it. Fine with it. It's not so big of a problem that I need to edit it, you know. But I do recognize it's a problem. night, baby. Love you. Bye bye. Eh, my son just kissed me good night. Oh, that felt so good. My heart is like about to go. Gotta go now. Take care. Hope to catch you next one. Yeah, no worries, man. You take care too. See you. See you. I still have this open. I'll bring back the other screen. No, that's not it. Sorry. I had to take a call. That looks good. I'm liking this so far. The hair is gonna be a nightmare to render. Not complaining though. I've gone pretty far with this project. This is almost done, okay? I just need to finish this rim lighting, add a little bit more color correction with the lighting, do some background stuff, some foreground stuff. I plan to do most of that off stream, so tomorrow we can just focus on some manga stuff, yeah? Because that's really what I'm about, you know. But once in a while, it's not just because I'm doing some content for my clients. It's also because I want to show you guys how I usually render. That's not black and white, right? It's also for myself because I like drawing like this. I don't like drawing just manga all the time. I mean, I love it, but there's so much to love about art, you know. Let me see if that actually works. See if we could turn it off. Yep, it works. So let's add the light back. Okay, that looks good. Let's add some more darker parts to it. All right. Now I'm gonna add a little bit more rim lighting. I know there's a lot of it already, but I think it would help us if we could do something like this here, just very subtly, you know. Nah, this is good. I don't need it to be a very strong light. Okay, we'll do more with the highlights tomorrow maybe. But right now I wanna uh sketch or bring out the foreground elements since there's gonna be a door there. 15. That looks good. Play with the perspective. Something like that. Maybe even put that in the background. Oof, that looks good. And we can. Oh wait, why is that? That's weird. We'll design this door later. I'm just trying to sketch out foreground elements. So this is like a realm, um, her own realm, where she can open doors to travel back in time. And the way I draw it in the manga is like there's some these clouds, and then winding stairs everywhere, right? So maybe we can add a stairs here, more doors there, more doors here. Just where she can tap into into these doors at will. So we'll draw this background element tomorrow. We're gonna draw a very ornate door, and maybe we can even move this thing because the doorknob should be right here, and I need her hand to be right there. So I'm gonna move this later. And we can also add again foreground elements, right? So we can add some effects with her hand, maybe some squares, as if she's like accessing a power. Some squares around her too. Right, just be very artsy with it around her hair. So that would be the foreground element and the background elements, right? There's still a lot of work to do, but I think the heavy lifting is already finished with the character. We can always add more to it, like a lot more highlights and brighter lighting and darker shadows. But I think for the most part, I'm quite happy where this is, and I'm just gonna draw the all these things in off stream, and I'll definitely show you guys what it looks like on my next stream. Yeah. Ooh, but I'm quite tired already, man. Use default brushes or just custom? I actually just use. Well, I use some custom brushes that I got online. I'll show you my brush. Let's just turn everything off so I can show you my brush. So when I'm drawing, generally I just use the hard round pressure brush. So it looks like this. It gives me that taper look here, and it feels a lot more like a pen to me. So I can draw a lot freer. I don't use the round brush because it doesn't have that, right. It looks too stale, less energetic to me. That's my main brush. And then some of my custom brushes. This one is for half tones, which is really helpful when you're trying to let's actually go to my manga page. Very helpful when you're trying to uh let's see. Here it is. Is that the correct angle? Yeah, it is. Very helpful when you're trying to do half tones to, emulate gray on a manga, right? Like this. These are my half tone brushes. There's a lot of them. I even have this sketchy thing here, like that looks like that, right? And you can do like a lot of hatching lines done just by instantly doing that. I cheat a lot with my brush. I'll show you a brush that is like a hack. It almost feels like cheating. Okay, well, it probably is cheating. So I have this brush back here, and if I need a building, for example, it already gives me a building like that. Wait, like that, right? I mean, it's already highly detailed, and it's definitely a cheat. I don't really use this thing too much, um, outside of client work where I need to draw things really quickly. See? Well, the thing is, here's what you do. Okay, if you have something like this and you don't want to cheat, what you do is what I do is I take portions of it, like for example this part, and then use just that as a texture pack, right? And you can just you recycle that to something else or a texture. But yeah, it definitely helps things move a lot quicker when you're doing client work. And for plants, I think I've done a video about it. Where's my plants? Here it is. So if I want to do a grassy land, right? I have this thing. So we can instantly draw grassy background here. See that? And there's some tall grassy look, different grass types. We can even do something like that, maybe just grayscale. Put this in the foreground. You know what I mean? And trees, we have trees too. I have these brushes, guys, because again I do this as a full time job, and you gotta do things quickly, right? Get some trees here, and let's see if we can make a stump. See, instant tree. Anyways, I'm just showing that off. So that those are some of my brushes. It definitely helps when you're doing client work. And yeah, I'm kind of guilty. I also use it on my own work, right? So again, they're quick. I want to move the project forward. It can be nice when there's a lot of lots to render, end up getting into the flow of things in the time. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I didn't expect to finish a lot of things today, but in retrospect, I kind of went all out with that painting. Yeah. um, but it's also nice to not over render your paintings. I kind of just look for a specific look to my drawings, and I stop there. Once I get it. Um, But yeah, tomorrow we'll do some manga stuff because I got a lot of pages. Let me just show you my pages. Let me see if I can show you my pages. Wait, one moment. Gonna take a while. But you can see my other projects there too. Give me a sec, guys. One sec. I may have opened the wrong thing, which I can't show because of NDA for my clients. Give me a sec, okay? One moment. I don't see why you should feel guilty. Professionals use these as well as not like your studio multiple assistant. Yeah, yeah, definitely. It just feels like cheating to me, to be honest with you. Oh. Okay. Let's all right, I should be able to show this thing. Where is my OBS? Okay. I'm gonna get rid of this display because I don't need it. All right, so these are some of the pages I'm doing for this week. All right, I still need to finish this. It should be a full day's work, and I got until Monday to finish this before my work cycle starts again. And I got a lot of work this week too. So I got like one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 pages in, and it should be around 25 pages of my own drawings. Yeah. So that's what's going on. So they're going to a party, a celebration that they survived the winter, and she's dressed up like a girl here. You know, has her hair pulled out, tied up. I think she looks good. And this is just some of her friends. Um, there's a running thing that she likes ale. Actually, I should probably replace this mug into a more like a cup, right? Because she's not drinking beer here. Nobody is drinking beer. I think I just drew that because I was so used to draw her with a mug. Um, eating again, it's a celebration. Beach here. She's like playing Death Stranding, carrying a lot of things. But this guy is like, okay, we should thank the this girl for helping us get through the winter, and she's all embarrassed and shit. And then this part is like the next day. There are some missing pages here in between this page and this page. This page and this page. Yeah, there's supposed to be at least two or three more pages in between those that I forgot to draw in. Um, but yeah, this is supposed to be in another day. But the change is so abrupt that I need to put those extra pages in. This empty page is just this page here. Oh, where is it? Did I just delete that? Oh no, here it is. This page is that empty page, which is not finished yet. Oops. And then this is like the next night where the action starts. This is somewhere around their action starts. Their village gets raided. And it's the introduction of the main villain, his group, the main villain group, not necessarily the main villain, but the I call them the Flayed Kings, the band of the Flayed Kings, and they're quite brutal, right? They're like the if you ever seen Firefly, they're like the Ravagers. Was it Ravagers? What were the zombies called in Firefly? I totally forgot. I think it was Ravagers, right? Yeah, the Reavers. That's the one. So like they're kind of inspired by the Reavers, kind of like a medieval Reaver type stuff, where they're quite brutal, and they don't really kill yet. They like to torture and sell them stuff. Yeah, it's called the Reavers. I just looked it up. So the Flayed Kings, we just see their horses here, and um, one of them, this dude here, hears it, and she hears it too. And there's a dialogue here that says, "Raiders are here," you know. And the next page, which I haven't drawn, should be them panicking and trying to close their doors, and then the action starts. I'm so tired of drawing at the moment. I need a break. Might play some games. I don't know, read a book maybe. I want to do some gaming streams soon, but my computer can't handle gaming and streaming at the same time. My computer's actually pretty good, but I have a very old processor which can't handle like that thing. My graphics card is pretty good though. It's a 4060 Ti 16 gig. It can handle pretty much any game, but the processor is a ninth gen Core i5. So that's an old CPU. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna end the stream now. I got nothing else to do, and I'm also very tired. So yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. Everybody who submitted their art, really great submissions this week, by the way. If the stream ever gets more art, I'll probably have to do 2 days worth of reviews. I'll have to divide these things, right? And hopefully, we get more members. Yeah. All right. I'll see you guys later, eh? See ya. Thank you for the stream. All right, chaos. Bye bye. Bye bye you.